Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm excited to talk about the best way to design our websites super fast. In fact, what I'm going to show you today is going to allow our websites to even be faster. When we design our web pages, they have a lot of CSS code. So you can imagine if you have one button with a specific style, and then later on in the page, you have another button with a totally different style. All this is additional code that is being added onto that page. So the solution to that is to use presets. So you would design one button and that button would be used pretty much across the whole website, which means your CSS will be much smaller. Now, the benefits of this as well is you'll be able to design your websites super fast. So let's go through a process of how you would normally design a website from scratch. So I'm going to do a quick demo here and then I'll give you the solution as to the best way forward and how you should start designing your websites. So normally, in fact, we will choose a pre-made layout or we will build this from scratch. So let's go ahead and build this from scratch. So let's add, let's say 2 columns. So in this column, we could say, okay, we need a text module. We select it. And then now we go and customize it. So this is where we would go in. So we come over here to design. We go into the text. We choose our font. And let's say our font is Poppins. You know, I love Poppins. Here we go. So that's my font here. And then we'll say, oh, you know what? By the way, I need a specific color. And then you choose your color like that. You save it. And then you say, oh, you know what? I need the title as well. So you would come over here. And you would add another module. So as you're adding this, you would go in and let's say for this one here, you want this to be a heading. So I would add my heading here and let's make it heading 1. So we would go into our design, go into heading text, and then we choose our font as well. So I'll search for my font. Select it. So you can see how many steps I'm really going through just to add these 2 pieces of content. It's quite a lot. And then maybe we want to make it bold. So we go in, make it bold like that. And perhaps maybe even change the color. And save. Same applies if we need to add other modules. So let's say I need to add a call to action here. I would add my call to action. And you can see here, this is the default. So first of all, I would add my link to my button. Like that. And we also want to customize the call to action. So we may go in and add a background color. And then we want to go into the text. So you can see here, it's quite overwhelming if you're a beginner or if you want to design a website fast. And I know we can also use pre-made layouts, but sometimes you may want to design something from scratch. Okay, so let's say you want to adjust the title here. You would come in, go in, add our title. Let's give this a font. So as you can see, yes, it is taking me time to build this. So let's say you want to add some padding here. We'll go into our section here, add our padding. So let's say 5%. Excellent. So I've added my padding. And this is how we would design our website. So as you can see, there's a lot of clicks. There's a lot that's going on as I'm designing this page. So then the question is, well, is there a better way of designing our website? And absolutely. So this is why in this video, I'm introducing the Divi Style Guide Pro. The Style Guide Pro has pre-designed modules for you. So you don't have to go in and design each and every item you add on the page. You don't really need to do that. All you need to do is to load the style guide up and basically all your styles are loaded. Now, let me show you what's in the actual style guide. So when you take a look here, when I start scrolling here, you can see we have our hero area designed already. So all you need to do is to select it as you're designing your site. We have another style here. This is hero number 2. We also have another one which has a gradient. That's hero number 3. And as we continue, we also have our page headings. So we have our 2 styles here. And let's continue on. We also have headings. So these headings are already set. The sizes are already set. We also have light ones, which can be on a darker background. Our paragraph text has already been set. Our quote here has already been set. And if you do need notices as you're designing your website, these notices are designed for you. All you have to do is to select them as you're designing your site. We also have testimonials. You can see we have different types of testimonials here. And as we continue, we have all these buttons all designed for you. So you can see these 8 styles. These buttons are already designed for you. You don't have to go in and spend so much time designing them. We also have blurbs, and these can be used. They're very versatile. You can use them in so many ways. And all these are different styles that are designed for you. And you may have not noticed this, but they're all labeled. So you can see this is a dark blurb. And let's continue on. We have images. All these have styles. We also have blogs. They're all set up or designed for you. We also have contact forms. So all these are designs that are designed for you ahead of time. Call to actions, so that it saves you a lot of time and also makes your website super fast, because once these are designed, they can just be used pretty much across the whole website because these are presets. Now, let me show you how to install these presets on your website, and then you can get up and running super fast. In fact, I'm going to have this preset ready for you guys today. So I'm going to send an email out so that you can download it and start using it for your designs. Okay, so it's also very important that I mention that this Divi Style Guide Pro is free for lifetime members and all of you that bought the web design masterclass VIP members. So this is absolutely free. You don't have to worry about paying any extra for this. I am going to be selling this because it's super valuable. It took me about 5 days to design this, making sure that this was mobile friendly and making sure everything was working okay. So it did take me quite a long time, and that is why it's on sale. So to install it, it comes in a zip file. So let me just find my zip file here so I can show you where it is. There we go. So it comes in a zip file, and it's going to be labeled Divi Style Guide. In fact, let me show you here. It will be labeled Divi Style Guide Pro, and this is what it comes like. Now, in the past, I've sold templates and people do the same mistake of trying to load it up as a zipped file. Please, you need to unzip this file first, okay? So to unzip it, I'm on an Apple Mac. So you just double click on it. And now you have this folder. You can see here, it says Divi Style Guide Pro. So in this folder, you want to go in because there's 2 more files. So there's the Divi Style Guide Color Palette and the Divi Style Guide Pro. So the reason why I've added the color palette as well is so that you can use this with consistent colors throughout. It's very, very important that our designs have consistency and also look great because of our colors that we use. Okay, so I'm just going to drag this over to the side here. Okay, so I'm done with this. So I have a site here. This is the one I was working on. So let's get rid of this page. Let's go to our dashboard. Okay. So I'm back on my dashboard here. So the very first thing you want to do when you unzip these 2 files, which are these 2, is to add your color palette first. So to add your color palette, you want to come over here to Divi and then click on Theme Options. So by default, Divi gives you a color palette, but of course you don't want to use the same color palette that Divi gives you. You want to use your own, the one that you've spent time creating to make sure your website has the type of message you want to convey. So we want to replace this. So replacing it is very easy. All you have to do is come over here to these 2 arrows, click on that, go to Import, and then you want to choose the file. So I'm going to choose the file. And I'm going to go to my downloads, and here we are. So this is the Divi Style Guide Pro color palette. So you're going to click once on it or double click on it. And let's import these colors by clicking on Import Divi Theme Options. So this is going to replace the standard color palette that comes with Divi and replace it with ours. Excellent. So this is our new color palette. I'm happy with that. Save changes. Okay, so my changes have been saved. The next step now is to add our Style Guide Pro. So to do this, you want to come over here to Pages, click on Add New. And let's name this page Style Guide. fact, let's call it Style Guide Pro. I'm going to click on Use Divi Builder. Okay, so now it's time to install our style guide. So we're going to build this from scratch. Great. Okay, now the quickest way to do this is to just drag the file and drop it here. So I'm just going to go to the Divi Style Guide Pro, drop it here. I'm going to say replace existing content, even though there isn't any. That's fine. But the most important thing here is to make sure you click on Import Presets, okay? Import presets means you're going to get all those designs that I've just shown you a moment ago, okay? So now I'm going to click Import Divi Builder Layout. So this now is going to bring all our style guides, all our settings on this page, okay? So this may take a while, so you have to be patient because there's a lot of styles that went into this page. So this may take a while. Are we on the same page so far? Please let me know in the comments box if you have any questions or if there's anything that I've done that is not clear. It's very important that we get this part right. Okay, so it looks like our import was successful, as you can see here. So I'm just waiting for the page to load up. And here we go. So once the page loads up, now it's loaded, as you can see. So this is all our styles. So the question is, why do we have to load it up this way and set it up? This is because we want to be able to see what we're designing as we're designing. So I always use this page as reference. So every time you start designing your pages, just make sure you have this page handy. So now let's design a brand new page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a brand new page. I'm going to come over here to the top and click on this plus button and add a new page. I'm going to open this page in a new tab, and you can see here the page is opening. So let's call this page New Page. Excellent. Now I'm going to click on Use Divi Builder. Okay, great. So now I'm going to start to design my page, and I'm going to do this from scratch. So, you know, when we started off, we were designing each and every item, even the paragraph text and the colors and everything. This time, notice the difference. I'm going to do a similar design to what I did in the beginning, which is adding 2 columns. And I'm going to add a text module like that. So notice our text is like this. Now I can just come to my presets, and I'm going to go to my main paragraph text. Boom, done. That's it. That's my paragraph. It's already designed, ready for me. Next, I want to add some headings. So I'm going to search for my text module again. And let's call this is my heading. Okay, all you have to do, highlight the text, click here, set it to heading 2. Over here on the top, click on the drop down, and we have heading 2, just like that. I want to save that, drag this to the top. Let's say you want to add a button. Click here on this plus button, search for my button module. Okay, we have this default one. Now I can come over here, and you can see here we have many buttons, okay? So if you're not sure which one it is, you can just come over here to your style guide, and this is why we need to have this open as we're designing our site. So I can just scroll down here and say, okay, buttons, where are the buttons? Here they are. So I want this bright button here, okay? Back over here, click on this drop down, bright button, here it is, just like that. It's styled, it's ready for me. All I have to do now is to just change the text. So maybe the text is download now. So that's the new text. I can just add my URL in here. I want to save that. And let's say I need to add something else here. Maybe this is a call to action. So I'm going to search for call to action here. Here it is. On the drop down, there's two types. There's call to action 1 and 2. So let's go with 1. And you can see there, it is there already. And let's try number 2. And that's the dark version. And then all I have to do is to add my link. And there's my button, call to action ready. Now, you may have not noticed here, but I did not go in to the module settings to design anything. Everything is pre-designed for me, and it's here on the style guide. Okay, so this is the power of this style guide. I can even choose different types of buttons here. I can even use different types of blurbs. In fact, why don't we add another section here which has blurbs? Okay, so I'm going to add. I've got a question here. What about the text style due to GDPR? Do we need to use Google Fonts? We don't need to use GDPR has nothing to do with fonts. First of all, Mister. So fonts have nothing to do with GDPR. GDPR is about emails, asking for consent when someone sends their, before you collect their information, basically they have to give you their consent. That's the GDPR. When it comes to fonts, you can use Google Fonts. All these are Google Fonts, so you don't need to host them on your own website. It's easier that way, and that's how it works. Ed says, can you change the colors in the Style Guide Pro? Absolutely. That's what I'm going to show you next, because of course, you may want to use colors that are way different to the colors that I've designed for you. So this is super versatile. You can change the way this works. You can change the colors. You can change so many things on the Style Guide. I will show you in a moment. Mr. says, how can I use the Style Guide if I use the local hosted Google Fonts? If the background, in the background there, connections to Google servers is not allowed to Europe. I'm not sure what you mean connections to Google servers is not allowed in Europe. I'm based in the UK, and I do not have any problems connecting with to Google Fonts or using Google Fonts on my website. In fact, this is on my local machine. As you can see here, it's woo.local. This is not on the internet, so this is working fine for me. So I'm not sure. Maybe you can expand your question, and then I can try and respond to that. Okay, so as you can see here, I've designed this super fast. Now, we also have presets for our sections. So you don't want to go in and each and every time you go in and add more spacing here on the section. So I have a preset. If you come over here, here's your 10% padding. Boom, just like that, you've got your 10%, and this readjusts as you design your website. Next, let's add a regular section here, single column, and let's add a text module. Here we go. So for this text module, I'm going to do something different, and that is I am going to just copy some dummy text here. I'm going to need to use, let's have a look, my section descriptions. Okay, I want to use that. So over here on the text, I'm going to just make sure it's centered, and I'm just going to replace this. Oops. Something happened. Let me fix this. Let's go back in here. Okay, so I'm just going to replace this text with my own, and this is dummy text as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do something a bit different. I need a section title. So far we have this text. I'm going to highlight this, set this to heading 2, and I'm also going to center it. In fact, I need everything centered. There we go. Now over here on the top, if I click on this drop down, I also have section description. There we go. Boom. My section description has been added. And that is the text I'm going to use for my next section. So over here, I can now start adding everything else. So let's say I want to add some blurbs. So I can search here for my blurb. So again, I want to reference this style guide here and see what styles I have. So let's go ahead and take a look. So I want to use, let's go with this one here. So we're going to go with this one, and this one is a standard blurb. Okay, fantastic. So now all I have to do is to come over here and look for standard blurb. Here it is. Boom. Okay, everything is all set. I'm going to change my text in here and also add my title. I'm just using dummy text here to just make things easy for me. Okay, there we go. Now all I need to do is to add my icon. And I'm going to choose my icon. And let's start with this one. So there we go. I haven't gone in. I haven't designed anything. These are all presets. Okay. So now I can save this and duplicate this a few times. There we go. Add it over here. Add it over here. Now, if I want the middle one to stand out, this is where I can go in now. And this was a question that was asked earlier on about, can we style these blurbs? And yes, you can. So notice now, if I come over here to design, and I can now go to box shadow, and let's use this box shadow here. And then we're going to further style this. So what I'm going to do is to reduce the strength a little bit. And I'm also going to reduce the blur strength like that. There we go. I think I'm happy with that. We might need to add a color here as well. There we go. Okay, so I'm happy with how this looks. I've just added a shadow to this. So let's say you're thinking, okay, you know what? I want to use this in the future because we don't have it in a style guide. Now check this out. This is super amazing. So you can actually create a style guide from what we've just done here. And how do you do that? All you need to do is to click here on the top. Now remember, this is the standard blurb. And how do we know this? We know this because it has a check mark right there. It has a check mark, okay? So what we're going to do now is we are going to create a new preset from current styles. So let's go ahead and do that. Boom. So we are going to say standard blurb plus shadow. Okay. Let's call this plus shadow. There we go. So now I have a standard blurb plus shadow now added. Okay, so I'm going to say yes to that. Yes, one more time. Fantastic. Now you can see here we're starting to have a clean design. And what I may also want to do here, and this is also super important, you can also have these presets load by default. So I'm going to come over here. And let's say I want that every single time I create a section, it has a 10% padding. So what you do is you just come over here, click on this star, boom, say yes to that. And next time I design this, it's going to have that 10%. So let me just add a background color to this. So let's say I want to add this color right here. Save that just to distinguish our sections. Okay, great. Now, you know, we've just created this, this blurb. Let's say I want to add another one. So I'm just going to click here on this plus button. And just to show you how powerful this is. So I'm going to add my blurb. Now we've just created a blurb called standard plus shadow. So if I click here on this drop down, guess what? Standard blurb plus shadow is there. Boom. And now I have a new preset that I just created based on the current presets. So this is how you expand on your current preset. Okay. Now we need to add a hero area onto our design. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click here, and this time I'm going to go with full width. So now I'm going to go with full width header. And I know we have some designs here for our full width headers. And we have Hero 2, we have Hero 1 as well. So I want to go with Hero 1. I'd like to add an image in the background. So I've set it up like this. I'm going to come over here, choose Hero 1. Boom. You can see now I have where my text goes, and I also have that image in the background. Now all I have to do now is to replace that image with my own. So I'm going to come over here to images. In fact, it's on the background. Let's go in and change this image. So hopefully I have a nice image to add. Okay, I'm going to go with this one here. Upload an image. And now I have an image in the background. And if you want to go in and customize this and use your own colors, it's super simple. You just come over here, choose your colors. Let's say this is your color. Now you can go in and add a bit of transparency here so the house can start showing. Just like that. You can do the same. Just like that. And now you have a hint of the image now showing in the background. And if you want to further customize the text, all you have to do is to just come over here. And let's use our lorem text here. Okay, I'm just going to paste it in here. And I can also copy some text I'm going to use for my title. And here we go. Paste that. And pretty much that's my content. Super clean, super simple. I did not spend a lot of time designing this because everything is pre-designed for me. There we go. Okay, sometimes this dragging and dropping doesn't really work. Let me go to my layers here and just drag it using my layers, and that should work fine. Excellent. So now we have this landing page I've just created, which has all my information ready to go. And this applies to so many things. Let's say for this section here, I want to add a call to action. I can just come over here, search for my call to action, and I'm going to come on the top here and I'm going to choose call to action number 2. Yeah, let's go for a dark one. And then all I have to do is to add, let's add our text. Let's copy our dummy text from here. We're going to paste it like that. And then finally, we need our button. We're going to add our button URL. And boom, we have our button. And now I can save this. And there's our call to action. If you need a contact form, we also have contact forms. And I'm just going to do this quickly. But of course, ideally, I wouldn't want to have my contact form here. But anyway, we have all the styles. If you're not sure which style it is, you can just come over here. Take a look at the contact forms, what they look like, and then you can just choose from there. And here they are. So I want to go with contact form number 2. Boom. There's my contact form. It's pre-designed for me and ready to go. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that because I don't need that for now. All right, so I'm going to save my page. And our design is good to go. Julia says, what did I click to move the sections? What you do is, if you can't find the sections, you click here on these 3 little dots on the bottom here. It's called expand settings. And then you have this little icon called the layers. If you click on that, this will show you all your sections, and you can also drill down and go into each and every item in here. So sometimes you may want to do this if you cannot find or a way to click on the item that you need to make adjustments to. Okay, so as you can see, this is super powerful. It is very, very easy to design using these presets, but there is a very good question that was asked earlier on, and that is, how do we modify these styles? So let's say you want to adjust these and you want to use your own colors. Well, this is super simple. The same process I used to export my colors is the same way in fact, let me show you how to export your colors. So I am going to save this page and open another one. And by the way, oops, unresponsive. Okay, looks like a lot is happening here on my site. Hopefully this won't crash on me. Okay, I'm going to exit the Visual Builder on this one and then show you how you can export your color palette. In fact, I'm going to show you how to add your color palette and then show you how to export it so you can use it for other purposes. Okay, so this is our style guide. I'm going to open this in a new tab. Guys, I don't think I've seen anyone out there who teaches how to design websites with Divi, showing you how to design your websites this way. I think this is the best way, and this should be the way forward when it comes to designing your websites. All right, so over here is, in fact, let me drag this all the way here so I don't get confused. So you want to come over here to Divi theme options. Okay, so this is our color palette. If you want to export your color palette, and I'm pretty sure a few of you knew about this, even I found this not so long ago, you can export your color palette and import it using portability right here. In fact, let me remove my video here. So you click here, and this now gives you the ability to export or import. So this time we need to export. So I'm going to call this Divi. Okay, you can just call it my color. My color palette. There we go. You can export this, and this is going to export as a .json file. And it's taking a while here, and boom, there we go. So here it is on my computer. If it's time now to import it, you can just come over here to the import tab, and then you just drag and drop it here, and that's how you import it. So that's how you export your colors. So how to use this? So basically, you want to go to, let's say, colors, and create your color palette. So I'm going to generate a color palette here, just so that you know how to apply this to your existing website. So I normally work with 7 colors. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, one more. Okay, so I'm just going to cycle through these colors here and see which colors I can add to my site. Okay, let's go with these. So I'm going to copy all these colors into our site. There we go. Okay, so I've copied the first one. So now I'm going to replace this current color palette with my own. So move on to the next color, which is this one. Come over here. Paste my color, move on to the next one. Now, while I'm doing this, if you have any questions, please add your questions in the comments box below so that I can respond to them all. So just right now, all I'm doing is I'm adding all my colors. And once I add all my colors, it's going to be easier for me to design my site. You'll be amazed how you can update this style guide. You're going to be super amazed. Super simple. There we go. I got 2 more. Let's go for this one here. Paste it like that. Right, and then finally, we have this one. I'm gonna copy that. So normally I would go in and tweak these colors again, but as for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to quickly add them in like how it's just done. I'm going to save changes. Okay, great. So now my brand new color palette has been saved. So the question now is, as we're designing our website, how can we update our color palette here to make it our own? Okay, so this is where you want to go to the Style Guide Pro, the actual page. You enable the Visual Builder. Okay, this is taking a while to load up. I think it's because I'm also live streaming. So this may also cause some speed issues. Okay, so my style guide has loaded up. So what I would do now is I would go in and replace these colors with my own colors. So I'm going to start here with this one. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to the background. No, in fact, I'm in the wrong thing. Oops. Okay, so let's start with this one here. You want to go into the module settings, go to the background, and now this is our new color palette. You can see, change that. And then I also need to change the text. I'm going to come over here, change my text to that. I may also need to change the metadata. Change this to that. So that's my new design. Now, if you just hit save here, this won't work. Please, it's very important that you take note of this. If you just hit save here, this just means that you've just changed the instance of this design, okay? But you haven't overwritten the actual preset. So this is where you want to click here on this drop down. And this one, the one with the check mark, is the one that's the one that we're working on. So what you do is you click here on this arrow pointing up. So this is going to update the current presets with my current design right now. So I'm going to save that and say yes. So this is style number 1. Now, if you don't believe me, let me show you. I want to come back here. We're going to add a full width post title. Okay, so you can see here it doesn't have a style. So if I come to this drop down and I choose, was it 1? I think. Notice it has updated and it has this color, and this color now and this style will be updated across the whole website. That means it's going to have your CSS. It's much, much smaller. You don't even have to go to each and every page on your site to update this, because once you update it, it becomes the standard. Okay. So that is how you update your style guide. So let's go in and let me do a few more just so that you can see how easy it is. Let's say you want to change your paragraph text. Okay. I'm going to go in, right? And let's say you don't use Poppins. I'm pretty sure you've got different fonts that you use on your website, but you want your paragraph text to change. Here's how you do it. So right now, I can now go in and say, okay, I'm going to go to the design. I can go into text, and then I can say, you know what? I want to use Montserrat. So let's go ahead and choose that. There we go. Montserrat. Boom. So that's going to be my new paragraph text. Excellent. But I have a different color now. So the color I'm going to use is maybe this one for all my paragraph text. Maybe I may want to reduce the size a little bit. Okay, there we go. So I've reduced my size to 17. My line height is okay. So now I can come to the top here. How do I know which one I'm working on? Well, I know because there's a check mark, and here's the check mark right there. Okay, so what you do, you you hover over here, click this little icon pointing up, this arrow here. I don't know how I can describe it. If you click on that and say yes, now every time I create a new paragraph, this is going to be updated. Now, I know sometimes it can be hard to believe if this can really work. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my site and see how this is going to work. So this is the page I was working on. I'm sure you remember this. Okay, I'm just going to refresh this and create a new paragraph. Okay, so in fact, look at that. It has already been updated. Isn't that amazing? That's the paragraph text that has just been updated because I changed it here on the style guide. So across the whole website, you're going to have that preset. So this is super amazing. When I used to review websites, I used to see a lot of people that have different text sizes throughout their whole website for their paragraphs. And that, I just felt like guys, you need to find a way to just use presets. This is the best way to design your site. So you can see here it's been updated and that's looking good already. Now, what I'm also going to do is to change my button color here. So I'm just going to exit the visual builder here because I want you to see this updating in real time. Okay. So I want to change this bright button here on my style guide. So let's look for that button. Oh, here we go. Here it is, bright button. I'm going to go into my settings here. Now, remember, we added a new color palette. So that means we have all our colors following us. So I can now go into design, click on button, and here's our bright background. So I want to change that to something a bit more subtle, you see? So here we go. The changes are happening here, by the way. Now, I also have a border. So I'm going to add my border here. Not sure if you can see the color change. In fact, you know what? Let's change and use a totally different color here. Let's go with that. Oops, that's my text. Okay, and then I need to add my border here. There we go. So that's our new button. So this is the bright button. So I'm going to come over here. And the bright button here has a check mark. You can see that. So what I'm going to do is to update. Boom. Just like that. Are you sure? Yes. I'm going to save that. Now, let me take a look at my site and see if this button has changed. And guys, this is a live stream. So this is happening live. There's no tricks. I'm going to refresh this and boom, my color has changed. You see that? So this is how you can go in and just change the colors of this style guide to suit your design. Okay. And you can apply this pretty much to everything. You can even do this on the blurbs. You can do this everywhere. Now, I know you're going to say, well, that's going to take a long time to go in and update all the colors or maybe even all the fonts. Well, try and compare that to designing your buttons and searching for your buttons on each and every page that you may have added a button. And also on the paragraph text, imagine going to each paragraph on your website and trying to change your size, your colors of your paragraph text. It's going to drive you crazy. So although this takes long, but you just need to do it once and that's it. And this is the power of the Divi Style Guide Pro. Now, I know I have quite a few questions here. Let's see. I've got a question here from Jackie. Can we add new design components to an existing style guide? Absolutely. In fact, why don't we do that right now? So let's say I need to add a totally different design to my style guide just to expand it a bit more because what I have here could maybe not be enough, right? So let's add a brand new button style. So I'm going to come over here, click on this plus button, and then I'm going to start designing my button. So I'm going to search for, and I suggest you put it on the style guide because it's easier to find as you're designing. Okay, so let's call this new style so that we can see it as I'm designing. Okay, new style button. Okay, great. Now, let's go ahead and design this. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to alignment. I'm going to center it. And then I'm going to come to my button here, activate use custom styles for button. And I'm going to reduce my size here. Let's go to about 16. Okay. Next, I'm going to add my color. So I'm going to go with this as my button color. And for my background color, I'm going to use this color here. It's black. And I'm also going to add a border. But now I want to make sure there's no rounded corners to this button. And then moving on, I also want to add some letter spacing. Okay, I'm going to set this to 1. And then my fonts, I'm going to choose, let's choose Monsterite. There we go. I'm going to add my In fact, you know what? Letter spacing doesn't work here. Let me just reduce that. Okay, so that's my color. But I'm going to go even more extreme on this one here because I'm going to add even more things. So my button icon, I'm going to use this one. There we go. And icon color. Okay, icon color is fine. And placement to the right is fine. So over here on spacing, I want to make this button. In fact, you know what? The size of this button here is fine. Okay, so that's going to be my new style. So we want to add this to our style guide. How do we do that? Well, you click here on this drop down, and then you want to create new preset from current styles. Click on that. And now we can call this new style button. New style button. I'm going to save that. And that's our button right there. I'm going to save that. Oops, I had saved it already. There we go. So that's our new button. Okay. So I'm going to save the page. Now, let's say I'm going to start designing my site and I need to add this new style button because that's what I need to go with. So let's find some way to add it. I'm going to enable my visual builder. Okay, so now let's add our new button. We're going to add it here. Click on this plus button and let's go to our button here. So I'm going to go in here and select my new style button. Boom, it's centered. It has the colors and it's been customized as it is on my style guide. Just like that. So this is how you start building onto this style guide that I've created for you. So this is just going to give you quite a lot of work already done for you. So you don't have to do so much work on this. Most of the things here have been designed for you. All you need to do is to go in, change your colors, change your fonts, and you're good to go. Now, all these are mobile friendly, by the way. So they are going to look great on mobile devices as well as on tablets. So let's see. Do we have any more questions? Okay, so the question now is, how do you export your own style guide? Just in case you want to do what I've done, maybe sell your style guides. Well, let me show you how to do that. So if you want to export your style guide, you come over here to expand settings on the bottom here. Okay, you have these two arrows. You want to click here on portability. Okay, and now let's give this a name. So we're going to say 2021 new style guide. There we go. And then you just want to export it. And there we go. You have your style guide. You may also use this if you want to save your style guide. So you've saved it now on your computer. That's great. If you want to import it, simple. The process is what I showed you in the beginning, but I'll show you once again. You can just click here, click on import, import presets, and then you can just navigate to the file and boom, you've just imported it. But make sure you're doing it on a brand new page. And ideally, you want to name the page style guide, because that way it's easier to find and you can use it as a reference. Okay. That's why we need to use this as a reference. It's important. Okay. So this is how you design your websites using the Divi Style Guide Pro. Let's see. Do we have any more questions here? Oh, in fact, I've got questions here. Okay, I have a question here from Arjan talking about child themes. My opinion child themes are not necessary anymore, because with child themes, mostly the files that need to be edited are the .php files. But most of us designers, we do not go in and customize .php files. Most of the time, we are working with the actual design. So I would like to think that the child themes are now replaced with the Divi themes. Okay, so you can go into your theme, design your footers, your headers, and so on and so forth. That is the way forward when it comes to designing your website. So I wouldn't recommend you buy child themes for designing your websites moving forward. Yeah, I would say about 2 years ago, it was a big thing. You know, child themes were a big thing, but now you do not really need to use child themes unless you are going in and making changes to your .php files. Hope that makes sense. Manuel says, I usually use Lightroom to compress photos before uploading them to WordPress. Yeah, I mean, if you use Lightroom, that's great. That's fine. You can use Lightroom to do that. I use Photoshop myself. So that should also do a fantastic job. So I would, continue using Lightroom if you're comfortable with it. Okay, any more questions? Okay, I have a few questions here. How to create your own presets from scratch. I mean, as you're designing your website, you can just create a button like I've just shown and then save it as a preset. So that's how you do it. But of course, as you're designing your site, you're going to have, if you don't have like a dedicated page where you have all your presets, you're going to have problems because you're going to struggle to try and find where these presets are. So I would have a dedicated page where I have all my presets, all my buttons, all my paragraph text, my fonts, everything on one page, so that anytime I need to go and update my preset, I can just go to that specific page, which in this case is the style guide. Okay, so the link is in the description below here. I am going to be selling this for, in fact, why don't we open up the page? Right, so this Style Guide Pro, as I mentioned, it's free for lifetime members. It's free for web design masterclass students. It's also free for VIP members. I'm going to be selling this for $97, but I'm going to add a special offer since you joined me on this live stream. I'm going to be selling it for $47. Okay, so the discount has already been added for you. So if you click here on get the offer, this should have your discount applied already. So there we go. You can see here Design 50 has been applied. So you are going to get it at, oops, not sure why this is here. You are going to get it at $48.50. You can use this for unlimited websites. You can use this as many times as you want. There's no limitations to how you use this, but I'm pretty sure you can see the benefits of this. It will enable you to design your websites super fast. And it is going to make your website load up super fast too, because your CSS file is not all over the place. It's really working on this style guide. So it's very, very powerful. Like I said, this 50% discount is because you guys are on this live stream. But after this, I'm going to be selling it for $97 because this also comes with a mini course showing you how to use it, how to update your style guide, how to also expand your style guide. So it's going to come with a mini course of about 4 videos. So this is why it's going to be $97. But like I said, hurry up, get this offer. It's 50% for a limited time because I want you guys to be on the same page, and I'd like you to design your websites super clean, super fast, because we want to work through a system of how to design websites, and this is the best way to do this. I'm actually using this style guide on my website. We'll be changing some colors here and there, but this is how I'm going to be designing my websites moving forward. Now, before we conclude our live stream, I also want to talk about Jackie says, I subscribed to your masterclass already. How do I get it for free? Good question. I'm going to be sending an email out to all the students in the web design masterclass. It's just a download link. I am going to be sending this via email. So keep an eye on your email today. In fact, in about an hour, I should have sent that email out so that you can go ahead and download it. Okay, so let's look forward to, let's talk about what you need to look forward to on funnelstoincome.com. Okay, so I'm really excited because I am going to be releasing a lot of these pre-made layouts, color palettes. I noticed that quite a lot of people were hesitant to send me their color palettes. I'm going to make this process even easier. I'm going to design about 10 color palettes, okay, which pretty much cover most of the industries out there. Okay, so these 10 color palettes are going to be sold in a bundle. And again, these are going to be free for lifetime members, free for Web Design Masterclass students, free for VIP members. So these color palettes is just drag and drop. All you need to do is to add it onto your website. You don't have to spend time creating new color palettes. You can just choose the one you like, add it onto your website, and boom, you've got a color palette which you can use for your website. So I'm going to be designing about 10. I'm going to sell them in a bundle and also have a mini course showing you how you can add them onto your site and how you can start using them. So I'm going to call them Divi colors. They're going to be released in a few days. And again, like I said, it's free for lifetime members. Upcoming is also some WooCommerce templates. I know a lot of you would like to create online shops. So this is going to be very beneficial for anyone who's a freelance designer or an agency who may want to design e-commerce stores for your clients. Again, I'm going to have templates. All you need to do is to load them in and you're good to go. You're up and running super fast. LearnDash, I'm also going to have LearnDash templates, Tutor LMS, and wishlist member. So by the end of this, basically you're going to have tools which are basically plug and play. You just install them and then all you need to do is to go in and customize them, because I realized that Divi is super powerful, but if you're going to be designing each and every item over and over again, it's going to take you a very long time. Sometimes you may even forget the size of your paragraph text that you may have used earlier on, and then you want to go back to that page to see what size you used on a totally different page. That's going to really drive you crazy. So I want you to start designing websites in a consistent manner, which is super easy to follow and also building fast websites. So Stefano says lifetime members will receive the email too. Yes, lifetime members, Web Design Masterclass, and VIP members are all going to receive this very, very soon. So this is the new way to design websites. Now, guys, this is going to be your homework. So please, once you download this, you need to complete your websites, because the next step in our web design masterclass is to learn how to create websites that generate leads. That's going to be our next part. So please, if you haven't watched the whole video, watch this whole video and see how you can use the Divi Style Guide Pro and finish off designing your pages, because the next few lessons are going to be how to generate leads on your website. So I'll be showing you how to connect your email autoresponder like ConvertKit, Aweber, and so on to your website so you can start generating leads. And I'll also be sharing tips on what you need to say on that page in order for you to get people to sign up onto your mailing list. Kathy says, where can we join your masterclass now and then catch up? Okay, so let's head over here and let me show you. So Kathy, are you a student of the web design masterclass? If you are, all you have to do, in fact, let me show you here. If you are a student, you can just go over here to your dashboard. And this is your main dashboard, as you can see here. By going to the course, you can just click here on Web Design Masterclass. And these are all your lessons. There's quite a lot going on here. So you can see module 1 was branding, how to create your color palettes, how to create your logos, where to get inspiration, the web design resources. Module 2 was how to register your domain name, and also how to set up your theme builder. And then moving on, we have module 3, how the Divi builder works. I also explain how the Divi builder works. And so there's quite a lot of information here. Now, I've just got a question here saying, where do we get this video? So you can see here live Q&As. We have live Q&A week 1. I'm going to be adding all these live Q&As over here and also in the Facebook group. And I'll also send an email out. So I really want you to watch these live Q&As because they have a lot of information that you need to cover. So I will be adding them to our lessons here as well. So this was live Q&A week 1. And we should also have week 2. I will be adding this here. And also, you don't need to worry about finding this. I'm going to add it in the Facebook group. I'll also be sending an email out, and I'll also be sending it to our lessons here. Okay? All right. Any more questions? Okay. Kathy says, I want to join. Okay. So let me get you the link. Web Design Masterclass. Okay, here is the link, Kathy. Jackie says, will you create a template for Fluent CRM, Flow Templates 2 in future workshops or in the masterclass? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I will be creating all the workflows, the email funnels, and I will be giving them out for free because I'm trying a lot of these email templates, email sequences to see how they work. And some of these have worked really well for me. So I am going to be sharing those with you as well. So yes, there's going to be a lot of information where I'll be sharing with you guys. By the end of this course, this should be your default course if you want to become a web designer. So this is going to cover pretty much everything. You can see now it's starting to get even more and more exciting, or at least that's how I see it. So by the end of this, you're going to be super comfortable designing websites with Divi, and even adding, other elements to your websites which make it even more productive, like e-commerce websites, like online course websites, membership websites, lead generation, and so on. Okay. I think I've covered pretty much everything. So the link to the Divi Style Guide Pro is in the description. Check it out. It's at a 50% discount. I will be putting the price up in about a week or so. So make sure you go and take advantage of that. Like I said, it's going to have a mini course that comes with it, and also some support if you do need any support in how to use it. But this style guide is the way forward when it comes to designing websites with Divi. Okay, it's going to make your websites faster, and it's going to make your job even easier as you're designing these websites. I will also have some templates, your Divi templates, that I will be giving out as well once it's all complete. So all is going to be done for you. It's going to have your 404 pages. It's going to have your search results page, your footers, your headers, and all that good stuff. So you must be, honestly, you made the right choice in signing up for the Web Design Masterclass. All right, guys, I think I've covered everything. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week, and keep an eye on the courses. I will be adding a few more courses again. And make sure you start using this web design style guide. I am going to be sending an email out in a few moments, so you can start using this on your own websites. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.